Welcome to my channel Alien Signal. The Offering. In the outer spiral arm of the Orion Expanse, where empires rose and burned like brief sparks against the dark, there existed a species who believed fear was the purest form of power. They were called the Vael'Korr. Tall, silver-skinned, and crowned with bioluminescent crests, the Vael'Korr ruled dozens of systems. Their war fleets blotted out suns. Their soldiers carried singularity cannons. Their courts were built upon the bones of conquered civilizations. But their greatest symbol of dominance was not a weapon. It was a beast. The creature was known across the expanse as the White Dread. An albino apex predator from the death world Kairos V, it had been captured at great cost. Entire battalions had fallen securing it. The Vael'Korr did not tame it. They did not chain it in the traditional sense. They revered it. The wolf of Kairos V stood 4 meters at the shoulder, its fur pale as frozen starlight. Its eyes glowed with a cold, predatory blue. Its claws could shear through alloy plating. Its bite pressure rivaled hydraulic presses. It had devoured insurgents, prisoners of war, even rival alien warlords who believed themselves untouchable. The Vael'Korr fed the wolf offerings in a grand arena of black crystal and anti-grav pillars. Entire civilizations had watched the spectacle transmitted across the stars. Tonight's offering was different. Humanity had entered the galactic stage only 23 cycles ago. They were new, unpolished, and, to the Vael'Korr, amusing. Their ships were sturdy but inelegant. Their diplomats were persistent. Their soldiers, though fierce, were few compared to the vast armies of older empires. And yet humans had a habit of surviving. When a border skirmish escalated and a human exploration colony resisted annexation, the Vael'Korr High Sovereign decided to make an example of them. The offering would be a human child. 8 years old, small, fragile, soft. The message would be clear. Defy us, and even your young are not spared. The child was taken during a raid on the colony of New Dawn, orbiting Tau Ceti. Her name was Amara Reyes. She had dark curls, wide brown eyes, and a stubborn chin that made even seasoned Marines pause when she crossed her arms. Her father was an engineer. Her mother, a planetary ecologist. Neither survived the raid. When Amara was brought into the Vael'Korr arena, the stands were filled with dignitaries from across the expanse. Holographic drones hovered. Warships hung in orbit like silent witnesses. She wore a simple colony jumpsuit, torn at the knee. She did not cry. The High Sovereign's voice boomed across the amphitheater. Behold humanity, defiant, weak, mortal. The gates opposite Amara began to rise. A low growl rolled across the arena floor like distant thunder. The White Dread stepped into the light. Gasps rippled through alien throats. Even species without vocal cords shuddered. The wolf lowered its massive head. Its breath steamed in the cool air. Its eyes fixed on the tiny figure across the sand. Amara swallowed. She remembered her father's voice. Animals aren't monsters. They're just alive. The wolf advanced. Slow, measured, predatory. The Vael'Korr expected screaming, begging, a desperate scramble. Instead, Amara did something no one predicted. She stepped forward. Middle, the shift. The wolf paused. Its nostrils flared. It inhaled deeply, drawing in her scent. Not fear, not in the way it was accustomed to. There was fear, yes. The rapid heartbeat. The trembling muscles. But there was something else. Defiance. The wolf circled her. The Vael'Korr commentators whispered in confusion. This was not how it usually went. Prey ran. Prey panicked. The wolf gave chase, savoring the hunt. Amara did not run. When the wolf came within 2 meters, it lowered its head until its glowing eyes were level with hers. Its growl softened. Amara raised her shaking hand. The entire arena froze. Across the expanse, billions leaned closer to their screens. She reached out and placed her small palm against the wolf's snout. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the wolf inhaled again, long and deep. And it did not bite. The High Sovereign surged to his feet. Command it. Handlers triggered neural pain amplifiers embedded in the wolf's restrained collar. The beast recoiled, snarling, not at the child, but at the source of the agony. Its gaze snapped upward toward the Vael'Korr control tower. Amara stumbled back as the wolf's massive body tensed. The pain amplifiers surged again. The wolf howled. It was not the howl of a predator about to feed. It was rage. The wolf turned, not toward Amara, but toward the towering black crystal walls. With a roar that shook the arena foundations, it lunged. Its claws carved through reinforced barrier plating. Spectators scattered. The control tower shuddered as the wolf slammed into it, jaws snapping at the source of its torment. Amara fell to her knees in the chaos. A fragment of shattered crystal arced toward her. And the wolf moved. In a blur of white fur and muscle, it shielded her with its massive body. The shard shattered harmlessly against its hide. The arena dissolved into panic. Vael'Korr soldiers poured in, weapons primed. Terminate the beast, the High Sovereign commanded. Plasma bolts streaked across the arena. The wolf snarled, positioning itself over Amara. One bolt struck its flank, searing fur and flesh. It did not retreat. Instead, it did something unprecedented. It nudged Amara with its snout toward the breached wall. An escape route. Amara understood. She ran. The wolf followed, smashing through another barrier and into the service corridors beneath the arena. Alarms blared. Emergency bulkheads slammed down, only to be torn apart by claws that could rend starship hulls. The galaxy watched in disbelief. The white dread was not killing the human child. It was protecting her. Vael'Korr security forces mobilized throughout the capital city. Dropships descended. Interceptors locked onto the wolf's thermal signature. Amara clung to thick white fur as the wolf bounded across crystalline rooftops under the alien night sky. Behind them, plasma fire scorched towers. Ahead lay the wilderness preserves beyond the city, artificial ecosystems where exotic beasts were kept. The wolf did not head there. It headed for the spaceport. The human signal. On the edge of Vael'Korr territory, a battered human frigate drifted in silent observation mode. The UNS Resilience had arrived too late to prevent the raid on New Dawn. But they had intercepted something else. The broadcast. Captain Elena Kovac stood on the bridge, fists clenched, watching the chaos unfold on the main screen. The wolf shielding the child. The wolf fighting soldiers. "Ma'am," her tactical officer whispered, "is that thing defending her?" Elena didn't answer. She watched as Amara climbed onto the wolf's back and clung tight while it charged through the spaceport perimeter. "Plot a micro-jump to their upper atmosphere," Elena ordered. "Prepare every shuttle we have." Against an Empire fleet. Elena's jaw tightened. "That's our kid." The breakpoint. At the spaceport, Vael'Korr interceptors swooped low, firing precision beams meant to disable without destroying infrastructure. The wolf leapt onto a transport vessel mid-landing, claws digging into its hull. With terrifying strength, it used the ship as a springboard, launching itself toward the outer platform. Amara saw stars above, ships, so many ships. One of them pulsed blue-white, human engine signatures. "Here," she screamed into the wind, though she knew they couldn't hear. The wolf reached the edge of the platform as soldiers converged from all sides. Pain lanced through it again as the collar flared. Amara grabbed the metal casing around the collar with both hands. "Stop hurting him," she shouted, and slammed a loose shard of crystal into the exposed circuitry. Sparks exploded. The collar died. The wolf's howl this time was different. Free. Above, space tore open in a flash of human jump technology. The UNS Resilience emerged, shields flaring under immediate Vael'Korr fire. Human shuttles screamed downward. Captain Kovach's voice cut through every human channel. Hold that platform. We bring her home. Marine drop pods rained down, slamming into Vael'Korr lines. Humanity might have been young, but they were relentless. The wolf stood at Amara's side as human soldiers formed a defensive perimeter around them. One Marine hesitated when he saw the beast. Amara grabbed his armored hand. He's with us. A shuttle touched down. Under covering fire, Amara and the wolf boarded. The last image transmitted across the expanse was the albino apex predator standing beside human Marines, facing an empire, and not backing down. Ending. Everything changed. The battle did not escalate into full-scale war. It almost did, but something shifted that day. Across the expanse, billions had witnessed the wolf's choice. Predator did not always mean monster. Strength did not always bow to cruelty. And humans, small, new, underestimated humans, had inspired the fiercest beast in the galaxy to defy its masters. The Vael'Korr High Sovereign attempted to spin the narrative, called it a malfunction, claimed humanity had sabotaged the neural collar. But doubt had been planted. Among subject species, among rival empires, even among the Vael'Korr themselves. On Earth, Amara recovered aboard the Resilience. Doctors treated her minor injuries. Counselors spoke softly, but each evening, she visited the reinforced hangar bay, where the White Dread rested. It had allowed no Vael'Korr near it without lethal consequence. But it allowed her. Scientists studied the creature from a respectful distance. They learned it possessed intelligence far beyond expectations, complex emotional processing, memory recognition, social bonding patterns. It was not merely a weapon. It was a being. Human diplomats leveraged the broadcast. You call us weak, they said in galactic assemblies. Yet your symbol of fear chose us. Alliances began to form around humanity, not out of terror, but respect. The Vael'Korr found their grip loosening. Months later, during a tense summit on neutral ground, the wolf accompanied the human delegation, not as a threat, but as living proof. When the Vael'Korr envoy saw the creature walk calmly beside the small human girl, unchained, he understood something fundamental had broken. Power built on fear could be challenged. Humanity did not conquer the expanse. They did something more dangerous. They inspired it. And in quiet moments, when Amara sat beside the wolf and rested her head against its immense flank, she would whisper stories of Earth, of oceans, forests, and wolves that once roamed in packs beneath a blue sky. The White Dread would close its glowing eyes and listen. In time, it would no longer be called the White Dread. Among humans, it earned a new name. Guardian. And across the galaxy, whenever empires considered crushing the young species from Earth, they remembered the day their fiercest predator chose a child instead of blood. The day everything changed. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more cinematic science fiction stories.